The life of a professional surfer on the Women's ASP World Tour may seem like a glamorous existence. Jetting from one exotic location to the next, crowds of adoring fans waiting for a picture or an autograph, lucrative sponsorship dollars and endorsements. And for the lucky, talented, hard-working few, that dream has come true. But like any sport, professional women's surfing is a long, painful road, full of sacrifice and disappointments. Success is only for the extraordinarily gifted. Whether you're a seasoned world champ, a rookie, or even a wildcard trying to bust onto the tour, reality hits you as soon as the cameras stop flashing and the crowds have gone home. And the reality is that if you don't win that next heat, you might be out. Off the tour, out of the spotlight, and those sponsors will move on to the next bright young star. As soon as you stop performing at the top level, the magic carpet ride ends, usually very abruptly and with an unpleasant thud. Suddenly, the most important thing in your life is a two-wave total. Fortunately, for Australia's latest crop of female surfers on the World Tour, the homegrown surfers who came before them created a culture of women's surfing which is uniquely Australian. Unlike some almost exclusively male surf scenes elsewhere around the world, Australian women were not prepared to just sit on the beach and watch. That philosophy of getting out there and having a go developed into a grassroots culture of competing. And that competition eventually spawned a habit of winning. A habit that is now supported by government departments like the Australian Sports Commission, via institutions like the Surfing Australia High Performance Centre.
The Surfing Australia High Performance Centre came about through a need to really work towards development of high performance athletes.
It's such a good feeling to have this here, to know that the Australian government is constantly backing it. It's been an opportunity for me to just constantly develop my surfing, and I know I'm getting the best knowledge out of the coaches and everything that's here.
The knowledge from the pros is right here in front of you.
There's so many young surfers coming up these days and they want to learn it, and this facility is perfect for it. Surfing for women's in Australia is really going to be pushing it in the next few years.
For the past 13 years, Australian women have had a virtual mortgage on the world surfing crown. Australian women didn't just win world titles, they set records that may never be broken. They dominated, and they created a heritage of winning. But that was until a tiny girl from Hawaii started writing a few records of her own. Carissa Moore was just a child when her freakish surf talent was first apparent. Her arrival on the world stage ushered in the possibility of a Kelly Slater-like dominance and sent shudders through the Australian surfing ranks. And in 2011, she fulfilled her destiny by winning the world title, wrestling the crown out of Australian hands and setting another record along the way by appearing in the final in an amazing 6 out of 7 events that year. At times, it seemed inconceivable that she could be beaten. In 2012, 5 Australian women will try to win back the ASP crown. Some are veterans, some are just getting serious, some are just having fun. One has been the world champion runner-up twice and does not want to be the bridesmaid again. One has already won 4 world titles. Each one of them has something to prove. Coming up next, the 2012 ASP World Title race begins at the Roxy Pro on the Gold Coast. With only 7 events on the World Tour in 2012, getting a good start to the year is everything. Playing catch-up in the race for the world title is not the way to go. The first event of the year is the Roxy Pro, held at Australia's unofficial party capital, the Gold Coast. But this is no time for distractions. A good result here can give you the confidence you need for a serious charge at the world title. It's also a place where the crowd really plays a role. The crowd is literally everywhere. Surfers requiring a security escort just to make it the 30 feet from the contest stands to the water.
The first event's always a bit daunting in a way because you want to get off to a really good start. You don't want to come into your 2012 campaign and have a 13.
If you've got a new bag of tricks from the off-season, now is the time to pull them out.
We get a chance to see the new girls that have qualified for the first time and compare them against the current crop.
The level of their talent is through the roof.
You know, they're all best of friends, but as soon as they hit the water, there's this inner, they just catfight. It's great to watch.
The opening rounds are predictable, with all the big names firing. Tyler Wright, especially impressive, just annihilating the competition and posting the highest scores of almost every round. There was one question on everyone's lips coming into this event. Could Steph Gilmore recapture the amazing form that had won her 4 consecutive world titles?
There was so much hype about the first event of the year, so I was definitely extremely nervous. I just had so much energy built up, and I just felt strong. I just knew that every wave I took off on, I was 10 times stronger than my opponents.
There's no reason she could not roll through and get a 5th title.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Gilmore. I joined the ASP World Tour when I was 19 years old, and I won the world title in my rookie year. It was definitely a whirlwind start, and it was difficult to maintain that sort of focus. I've heard a lot of people tell me that it's easier to win a world title than it is to defend it, and it's true. Looking back, I now realise what a big deal it was to win 4 world titles in a row, and I'm really proud of that. In 2011, I lost my title to Carissa Moore, and this year I feel more driven than any of my previous 4 years to win it back. It's definitely an itch that I got to scratch. Surfing has allowed me to open my mind to the endless possibilities of the world. The travel experiences you get on tour or away from tour, just seeing the rest of the world and how people live is something you can only do firsthand. You can't watch it on TV or YouTube. Africa was a real eye-opener, and I think it changed me. After visiting there as a surfer, I really wanted to go back on a trip which helped other people. The Quicksilver Foundation is supporting a really impoverished village to establish sustainable farming and irrigation methods, and it's worked, and I love doing it. Packing and unpacking your life in a suitcase is not fun, but the payoffs of travel can't be discounted. In the end, I love travelling home and sharing those stories with my family and friends.
Back at the Roxy Pro, Laura Enever has a shocking opening round, losing terribly in her opening heat.
I was comboed like 10 minutes into the heat and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not how I wanted to start my year.
In her round 2 heat, Laura again has a shaky start.
I was nervous my round 2 heat and I felt the nerves. I won, but I definitely wasn't like stoked on how I performed.
Laura, round 2, stoked she got through. 1 heat down, I guess, and yeah, looking forward to round 3.
I'm Laura Enever. I'm from North Narrabeen on the northern beaches of Sydney. I'm 20 years old and this is my 2nd year on the Women's World Tour. Surfing and competing as a living is what I've dreamt of doing ever since I was a little girl. To be here now, travelling the world, surfing the best waves on the planet, meeting incredible people and experiencing all these amazing cultures, it feels like I'm already winning. Surfing has already opened so many incredible doors for me in and out of the water. But right now that door I'm knocking on is definitely that world title. Being on tour, we travel so much and see so many amazing places, but my favourite place to be is definitely home. I'm not even here that much anymore, so it's almost like my holiday, and it's just so good to come home and be with my friends and family and just sort of relax and just be myself and just being home.
Meanwhile, back on the Gold Coast, all the Aussie girls except Rebecca Woods make it through to the quarterfinals.
I was indecisive. Why couldn't I just be in the spot when I needed to be in the spot? You know, it could have changed everything. When you're having a shower after your heat and you've lost, when you're just standing there and you just let the water like go over you and you're just like... It's so frustrating, that feeling, and then knowing that you really you stuffed up and it's your fault, and it's really disappointing.
In the quarterfinals, Tyler continues her total dominance. Surfing against the current world champ, Tyler has Carissa on the ropes from the opening hooter. It's not that Carissa is surfing badly, she isn't. Tyler is just a league ahead.
You just gotta do your thing, you know, no pressure.
She called the right waves and yeah, she was patient when she had priority.
By the semi-finals, it's an all-Australian clean sweep. It would be an Australian walking away with the first winner's check of the year. Big crowds started to arrive for the final day of the Roxy Pro. In the first semi, Laura Enever versus Tyler Wright. No one expects Laura to win. Tyler is simply looking unbeatable.
Tyler just kept catching waves, and all I could hear, be like, Tyler, another turn, like another turn. I was just like, oh my God.
Laura, on the other hand, sits out the back, letting waves pass her by. Eventually, when she does start surfing, she falls off on her first 3 waves. Tyler looks to have the semi wrapped up.
I was kind of just having a bit of a shocker in that first 10 minutes of the heat.
Finally, Laura gets a decent wave, but only gets a 5.6. She still needs a 9+ to overtake Tyler's 2-wave total.
I think I had two 5.6 scores, and Tyler dropped like an 8.5. I saw this wave come and I was like, this is my 9. I got it, and I did these 3 turns, and I just sort of got momentum going on the wave and just sort of stopped thinking and then just went for it.
A 9 just doesn't seem possible on these small waves. It'll take a miracle.
I fell on a stupid foam climb and I was like, no, like that could have just cost me. I got 9.3, but I was actually comboed, so I still needed a score.
With seconds to go, Laura takes a sneaky inside wave. She needs a 7.1. The judges take forever to make a decision.
The siren had gone. I come around the corner and I'm walking up towards the competitors area, and then I just hear, Laura into the finals. Everyone was freaking out, so I just started freaking out. My brother just like grabbed me and I just started crying.
I don't think anyone expected her to be able to beat Tyler. She did, and she did it so well.
I've never felt so much emotion sort of go through my body. They're the moments you live for sure.
Yeah, it was close fought heat. It's good heat. Would have been better if I won, but...
No words for that, that was out of control.
Women's surfing, people got to stand up and take notice now. The girls are on fire.
That kind of boosted my confidence in a strange way.
She just really was inspiring.
In semi-final 2, it was a meeting of 2 hot favourites to take the world title off Carissa. Sally Fitzgibbons and Stephanie Gilmore. Both had been in great form throughout the event.
I think the semi-final with Sally Fitzgibbons was the most hyped up heat for myself this event. I just really wanted to win that semi-final against Sally.
The event sponsor, Roxy, have backed their girl to the hilt. Go Sally banners line the rocks in the buildings. Go Sally cheer squads lead the support.
My sponsor Roxy, they do such a great job in turning, an away crowd to a home crowd. I felt, that crowd behind me.
I just swum in a sea of Go Sally merchandise, and that was enough to get me fired up.
The heat opens up with the girls going wave for wave, with Steph getting the better of the exchange. As always, the Queensland crowd loves to back a local girl. Steph has an army of support.
I knew it was going to be a really hard heat. She just surfs with a really calm sort of aura, but her manoeuvres are really strong.
Steph builds on her lead with solid, inspiring surfing, while Sally has an uncharacteristic fall, putting her heavily behind.
Throws the tail off there and slapping the water there, a little bit
Steph
of frustration.
now has a huge 2-wave total of 18.3, leaving Sally comboed just as the ocean goes flat.
It wasn't my day, it was, it's her home turf here, and I guess
Just her getting to that good start when she starts off really well. You just got to let it go and move on to the next one.
It was hard because the ocean died towards the end there and it kind of ruined any chance.
It's good to see Steph back in pretty much tip-top shape. My money's on her.
In the final of the Roxy Pro, Steph and Laura took to the water in what seemed to be the worst waves of the event thus far. Both girls managed to post a series of smaller scores, but Steph looks like she is in control of the heat.
I wanted to get a bigger score, and this one wave came and I did this one really good turn, and then this section came and I was like, went up and did this reverse and did it perfectly, and I almost made it. If I'd made that and just kept riding it, it could have won me the final. I'm paddling back out after I did the reverse. I see Steph take off in this wave and just start going to town.
It was scary. I definitely chewed most of my nails off, waiting for the result.
I came in and that's when it hit me that I got so close.
Yeah, well done. It's alright.
She's got her groove back. She's found the mojo, and I tell you what, look at her. She is fired up.
Steph's win has left no doubt in anyone's mind. Steph's not just back, she's better than ever.
It's really good to see her surfing to her potential again.
To be carried up the beach with your friends underneath you and there's like thousands of people, it's just got to be the most incredible feeling in the world.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the winners. Time for our Stephanie Gilmore.
Stephanie Gilmore is back on top as all eyes turn to Bells. If the Gold Coast is all about fun in the sun, the Rip Curl Pro at Bells Beach is all about respect. Respect for the power of the Great Southern Ocean. Respect for the hardcore locals who live and surf these icy waters. And respect for the most prestigious title in surfing, the Bells Bell.
It's an honour to be there. It's an honour to walk down the stairs. Everyone just gets so excited to get on stage and ring that bell.
Such a prestigious and one of the most iconic surf events.
No kook has ever really won bells.
Hell's bells.
Unlike other event locations, such as the Gold Coast or DY, Bells is by comparison in the middle of nowhere. Across the road from the contest stand is a cow paddock, occasionally with kangaroos in it.
It's like one of those incredible places that you just like have to be there and witness for yourself.
It's a totally different comp to any other.
There are no distractions or illusions here. Everyone is here to surf and win. Every surfer wants his or her name on that trophy. Careers and world titles are won and lost at Bells.
It's one of those trophies that you just really want.
Driving into the cold car park in the mornings before the event, the air smells of commitment. But it's an intimidating wave.
You come over the hill and you can just see all the lines. It makes your heart start thumping.
I'm looking forward to it. It's raw, it's powerful, and I can't wait to get into the Bells Bowl and do some big hacks.
It's just the energy of the whole place lights up and you just feel it through your entire body. It's an incredible experience.
The first wave of the Bells event was Rebecca Woods' 6.7, a nice solid wave.
It's going to drain through this inside section. That's the second turn.
A good start for Rebecca, but not enough, eventually losing in round 2 for another early knockout.
Sometimes I don't feel like I can match it with the young girls, no. It's just good to at least be competitive in a field of very, very good surfers. Done with Bells and disappointing, but just got to get over it and move on.
Again, all the other Australian girls got off to great starts, winning their heats and revelling in the great waves.
You just want to get that good start. You know, you just feeling your groove and setting that rhythm. Good first heat, back at Bells. Yeah.
Beautiful scores for the first round, and good to see proper Bells Bowl in action on the first day.
In between the Gold Coast and Bells, Tyler Wright managed to injure her foot. For a little while, it was unclear if she would compete at Bells, but Tyler brushes it off and blazes through her early heats.
Oh, takes off, like, what you going to do?
Yeah, I didn't really think about my foot during any of my heats. I think the adrenaline kind of just overrides it. I'm Wright. I'm at home at the moment in Lennox and I'm a surfer. What got me into competitive surfing was, Owen and Tim were always travelling up and down the coast doing comps with Dad. I just wanted to be a part of that, and it kind of just took off from there. Definitely having Owen and Tim and Kirby in front of me definitely helped. For me, it's never been so serious. I've always tried to make it something that I loved and liked doing. It's not a serious thing for me. It's serious to a point, but if it gets too serious, it doesn't become fun. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like to do it. This is kind of Dad's little project. I put the joists and trusses and painted some of the fascias and put some of the cladding on. And being on a job site is nothing unusual. A week ago, I kind of broke my toe, or fractured it, or cracked, either one. So yeah, it's kind of like a setback. I just take it as, I needed a break, needed to put my feet up for a little bit. I was talking to Owen's coach, and he suggested a hyperbaric chamber. Go see one of those for a couple of hours. It's really weird, it's like being 10 metres underwater. By the end of the day, I could walk fully properly.
Coming up next, we return to Bells and meet Wildcard Nikki Van Dijk. Another Australian surfer to make an appearance at Bells was Wildcard Nikki Van Dijk. With a phenomenal junior contest record, Nikki has earned the title of Giant Killer due to her habit of regularly managing to pull big upsets.
My name is Nikki Van Dijk. I'm from Phillip Island, Victoria. I am currently on the qualifying series, coming 8th, trying to qualify for the World Tour and battling school, Year 12, at the same time. My life is heading, hopefully, to become a professional surfer. Yeah, like right now I'm at school and stuff, but it's my last year, and this year I'm doing the QSs, so my parents and my family are really supportive of whatever I do. So yeah, it's just my life at the moment. Year 12 it's like, I see it as so much fun. My family just encourage me to do my best, so they don't want me to get stressed out by school, and because I'm battling with surfing as well, and that's kind of my main focus at the moment, but crazy to think that I'm doing both. School is really supportive. They've been so good, especially this year. I've just been away so much, and when I was younger I was always like, oh, school, like it's just typical and annoying, but now that I've grown up, I enjoy coming back to school, and I think it's the most important thing to have as an education. The kids at school, they know that I just come randomly to school and just leave again, so they don't really know when I'm going to be home or leave. So and my friends they just enjoy it when I'm home and spend time with me when I'm home. The best thing about some of the events on tour is going to places like Hawaii, Peru, Sri Lanka. It's crazy the places you get to go to, but also traveling with my sister. Yeah, we have so much fun, and she's just always there, just with my routines and in the comps, and yeah, I do really well with her. And we went over to Sri Lanka together, and we were just the biggest clumsy girls ever, and we had no idea what we were doing, but we saw amazing things over there and had so much fun eating all the food over there, and we saw animals and elephants. I think one of the reasons why I do well, I think, is because I have the family support, traveling with my sister, and she's the super coach. This year my ultimate aim would be to qualify for the World Tour. I feel like I am good enough, and I feel that if I keep going the way I am, then I could, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And I don't know, I'm still pretty young, so it would be just ideal to qualify this year.
This was not to be Nikki's event, with two uncharacteristically poor heats against world #1 Steph Gilmore. Nikki bows out in round 2.
Nina was like, you've beaten her before, you can do it. I went for big turns and I tried, because obviously I knew what I needed to do to beat her. 3 of the same turns in a row, and I just felt, I don't know why. 3 times, really?
Nikki kind of had a shocker. She had the opportunities and she didn't make the most of them.
Bad luck, Nikki. Next time.
Coming up next, it's finals day at Bells. Laura's great run on the Gold Coast doesn't carry into Bells. She has a good first heat, but after that she seems distracted and not finishing the job. Laura leads for most of her heat against Tyler and Sarah Mason.
I was kind of thinking about how good it'd be to get straight into the quarters, and all of a sudden I'd gone from like first back into third. You can't win by surfing half a good heat.
Laura's loss sees her matched up against Steph Gilmore.
It'd be good to get one back on Steph, and that's the way she's thinking after Snapper, so her board's going really well, and yeah, she's looking really forward to it.
I see the best wave of the heat come through. Steph turns around and gets it, and I knew straight away, I was like, this is like the one. I should be on that wave. And they called out 10, and I started just getting really kind of emotional out there. The thought of losing started coming into my mind, and I couldn't like shoo it away. So I paddled to the beach and like sat on the beach for a second and changed boards just to sort of try restart.
Don't worry about what's happening. Go out, have
The whole heat kind of fell apart.
With the wind and the weakness in the waves, she felt like she needed something a little looser, but it was academic at that point. She was chasing 17, she had 7 minutes. That will certainly be one that she wants to forget. She's upset, you know, she's emotional. She'll bounce back.
Steph has had to fight her way through, but seems to be growing with every heat and is starting to look unstoppable with an easy win over Laura. In semi-final 1, Stephanie Gilmore versus Tyler Wright, Tyler seems to have the heat under control. Steph has surfed well, but is behind on the scoreboard.
Bells Beach is such a challenging place to surf. It looks so playful and easy, but it's really challenging.
With literally seconds to go, Steph requires a fairly average score to win. Instead of panicking, she holds her nerve and priority just long enough to catch both the wave she needs and simultaneously block Tyler.
Big cutback here. She needs a 5, folks. Keep that in mind. 30 seconds to go.
She was so cool, calm, collected, and yeah, I'm just going to wait for 5 seconds to go or whatever it was, and that's experience and super confidence in your ability.
A bit unlucky for me, you know, she couldn't in the last 30 seconds. She played it smart and yeah, good on her.
In semi-final 2, Sally Fitzgibbons is displaying all the hallmarks of a world champion in waiting. Sally doesn't just beat Carissa, she never lets her get a sniff of the lead. By the time the hooter sounds, Sally is a firm favourite to take back-to-back titles at Bells.
Definitely a tough battle, and yeah, I think the waves, that time you just had to be really selective.
By the time the final rolls around, things have changed out in the water. The tide, the swell and the winds have all shifted.
I thought I was 100% ready for the final. You always get out there and there's such a good energy because it's a final and everyone's excited, and then the ocean kind of doesn't play its role.
The huge crowd knows that just one good wave will win it for either surfer.
And then I got one wave that I thought was the winning wave.
Yeah, crossing my fingers that, please don't, no.
I took off and did this turn and went for a massive carve, and then my foot slipped off, and that was it. 1 foot slip away from another win, and yeah, that hurt to slip off there.
You know, she kind of dropped the bell. You know, it's heartbreaking, but also at the same time, Sal picked it up and ran away with it.
Sally Fitzgibbons wins.
I'm so happy, it's not funny. What a day. To get my name read out, I've still got goosebumps.
It's a massive win with back-to-back bells. Steph and Sally are neck and neck in the ASP rankings. Sally's dream of a 2012 world title is suddenly realistic.
Sal is the most versatile and consistent competitor on the Women's World Tour.
Up next, we meet Rebecca Woods as we head to DY for the Commonwealth Bank Beachley Classic. It's been a stellar start to the year for most of the Australian girls on the ASP World Tour. Coming into event 4, the Commonwealth Bank Beachley Classic at DY, Stephanie Gilmore and Sally Fitzgibbons are first and second respectively in the title race. Tyler sitting in 4th place and Laura in 6th.
Every year coming into the Classic, there's a lot at stake. There's qualification, there's world titles, there's event defence going on.
The only Aussie woman not near the top of the field is Rebecca Woods. With poor finishes at all the events thus far, Rebecca is languishing at the bottom of the rankings. In the back of her mind, she's starting to believe this is her last year on tour. Coming into the Beachley Classic at DY, Rebecca literally cannot afford another poor result.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Woods. I'm a World Tour surfer. I've been on the tour for a few years and I live at Copacabana on the New South Wales Central Coast. Yeah, I got on tour when I was 20 years old and this is going to be my 8th year coming up. Had the really good lead up with the great support in Australia. We had the Junior Series and the Aussie titles and went through all the ranks with that and won the Junior Series and had to go at the QS. It was hard work on the QS and leaving a very small town and hitting a big wide world when I was 19, straight out of school. I don't think I was really ready for that. I pulled it in a bit and managed to get on tour. I think I'm just really happy that I chose to do surfing. It's to actually chase something and to dream about it and to really believe it shows you that if you do set your mind to something that you can chase it and it is possible. So the life on tour, it can be really mentally tough, mentally draining. There's a lot of movement, a lot of ups and downs. You just kind of got to roll with the punches and you learn a lot. That's the best thing about it, you learn a lot. You have to put in the hard yards if you want the results. It can't all be glitz and glamour, it's got to be hard work and that's how you pretty much stay in the top and where you're at. You know, you've got to be fit, you've got to be able to compete with the young girls on tour now. They're very agile, they're very strong, they're working really hard and for me, you know, there's the different elements of training. There's cardio and then there's strength training and technique. For me, I like to mix it up and do maybe 2 cardio sessions a week. So you do a gym session where your heart rate's up. You have contests, so you have to taper up and down for these contests and you can't be sore when you have a contest coming up. This year's going to be difficult because now I'm not sponsored, so I qualified, I got 10th in the world and got told, no, you're not sponsored anymore. I think the mental aspect of that was really hard to deal with. It's really hard to do the tour by yourself on your own finance. Every heat you get through that goes towards going to the next contest, basically. If you do get a first round knockout, you actually lose money to go to an event and the reality of not having a sponsor can hit home pretty hard when you actually don't have one. I've worked over this summer just to maintain my savings so I can keep what I have left for the tour this year. I've got a sister with a disability and she's been through a lot of hardships in her life and I think it was a good motivation for me to see that and just be like brush it off, get over it, get up and keep going and it really just made me remember that I just love surfing and that I'm not done.
The Beachley Classic at DY is a crucial turning point for many of the women on tour. Not only is it the richest women's event of the year, DY marks the midpoint of the ASP World Tour. It's at this event that everyone starts to think seriously about their chances of winning the world title, or just holding on to make the cut. With an average start to the year by her standards, reigning world champ Carissa Moore needs a great result at the Beachley to get her world title defence on track. A poor result here might actually see her bow out of the world title race. Stephanie Gilmore's 2012 campaign had gotten off to a great start, making an appearance in every final so far, with a win on the Gold Coast, a second place finish at Bells, and another win in New Zealand. A win at DY would see her just about seal a 5th world title. Hot on Steph's heels, twice world title runner-up Sally Fitzgibbons has made no secret of her determination to make 2012 her world title year. Sitting in 2nd place on the ASP Tour, Sally knows a win at DY will have her neck and neck with Steph, or possibly taking a lead in the rankings. Tyler Wright and Laura Enever are still in the race, but both know they are long shots.
I think there's a possible chance of us winning the world title, but it'd take a miracle.
Everyone has something at stake here. Coming into event number 4, the Commonwealth Bank Beachley Classic at DY, the event gets underway at DY Point. A shifty, heavy wave breaking over a sharp, shallow ledge.
DY is tricky. It's a weird wave. The point, you got to be careful sometimes because it can really suck dry on the rocks.
It had to be one of the most challenging waves that we have on the whole tour.
Nikki Van Dijk was given another wildcard entry into the Beachley Classic, but didn't manage to get through the opening rounds.
The standard was incredible. Every heat was not one of them were easy.
Tyler, as with every event so far, breezes through her first and third round heats and straight into the quarters. Sally, clearly with her eyes on the prize, is annihilating her opponents in the early rounds and waltzes into the quarters.
Through to the quarters. Stoked.
Stephanie doesn't have too much trouble advancing through to the quarterfinals either. But the thought of winning the world title is starting to distract her.
It's so funny because it takes just one person to mention something and it can throw off your entire game plan. It can really just sort of rattle the cage.
Living just a few kilometres away, Narrabeen's Laura Enever should know this spot better than anyone else on tour. This is as close as it comes to having a home advantage.
I was like, imagine winning my first World Tour event at DY in front of all my friends and family with everyone down here.
But Laura fails to capitalise with a couple of average early heats. Whilst Rebecca Woods is having her best event of the year so far. In her round 4 matchup against America's Lakey Peterson, Rebecca uses her experience to get the wave she needs to push through to the quarterfinals.
This is my best result for sure.
But the news of the day is Carissa Moore's loss to Courtney Conalog. With this loss, Carissa's world title defence is over. She cannot win the title.
It doesn't take anything away from her. You know, she's still world champion, and to do that at 18, 19, phenomenal.
But suddenly, the door swings wide open for the Australian women. As the sun sets over DY, the stage is set for either Steph, Sally, or Tyler to take the world title race by the horns. What happened from the quarterfinal onwards didn't seem to follow any script, with every favourite losing in a string of upsets. Firstly, Steph loses to tour rookie Malia Manuel, leaving the door open for Sally to snatch first place on the ASP Tour rankings.
Hey, I'm Sally Fitzgibbons. I live on the New South Wales South Coast in a small little town called Duroa. No one really knows how many people live here, but it's about 500. From an early age, I knew I wanted to be a professional athlete, but I wasn't really sure which sport I'd choose. I actually represented Australia in 4 different sports: soccer, touch footy, cross-country running and athletics. But I'm glad I ended up surfing, or maybe surfing naturally picked me. Even today I'm really a sports nut. Getting invitations to attend other sports is so awesome. Whatever sport I'm watching, it all inspires me in my surfing. This is my 4th year on the World Tour, and I've come second twice now. Once to Steph and once to Carissa. I'm proud of those results, but I don't really want to be called bridesmaid anymore. It's really inspired me to work even harder, and I want to win so bad. I'm ready for a world title. I started this year with a broken wrist after I hit the reef really hard on a trip to Fiji. But I haven't let that stop me. I've got a great team working behind me to patch me up. And when I'm home, I get regular pit stops at the physio and in my training to get back to 100%. Surfing is not just something I do for a job. It's something I think about all day, and I'm totally stoked by it. I won't stop until I win that world title, but it's not just that. I want to improve on everything. Big waves, airs, just everything. I've got some sponsors outside of surfing too, and I get to go on amazing trips with them. That stuff balances out the competitive surfing in my life.
Back back at DY. Sally's loss to young Californian Courtney Conolog in the quarterfinals is an opportunity gone begging.
There was a moment there where Sally Fitzgibbons had a perfect opportunity to strike and really jump up to the front, and she missed that opportunity.
I felt that, I did everything right in my heat. Obviously, it doesn't always happen. It doesn't all come together.
Rebecca Woods beats Hawaiian Coco Ho to advance to the semis, a fantastic result.
It hasn't really changed my outlook on things. With my career, it's still going to be difficult.
But in the end, the two remaining Australians, Tyler Wright and Rebecca Woods, are both eliminated in the semi-finals, leaving rookie Malia Manuel and Courtney Conolog to face off in their maiden ASP World Tour final. What this means for the Australian women is the tour is still wide open. Steph and Sally are leading the ratings and have a great shot at the world title. Tyler can still win it, but it will take a miracle. Laura has had her best season so far, but a world title will not happen this year. Whether Rebecca Woods stays on tour, only time will tell. But after 8 years, a world title at this stage is unlikely. Either way, with Carissa Moore out of the race, the world title is almost certain to once again be in Australian hands in 2012.
Women's surfing is probably in the strongest place I've ever seen. It's lucrative, the athletes are beautiful, it's marketable, they're positive, influential role models that take themselves very seriously, that work very hard, and they're incredibly talented. And Steph's leading the charge, but they're all as hungry and competitive as Steph, and I'm really enjoying seeing women's surfing grow and prosper in such an exponential way.
1, 2, 3.
Let's pick up on that conversation.
I just blame Sal for that line.
So not enough. That's pretty embarrassing.
But you have a look at.
So, yeah. It's loud, huh?